Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to SATURDAY night. Welcome, Saturday night. I am here with the famous, well-known TikTok wonder, Oracle Trish, or Trish Rain Readings, or her last name that we're not going to mention right now because she didn't put it in her thing. So we're just going to say Oracle Trish. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'll tell you all about Trish in a minute. I was watching Trish in the green room. I'm like, I thought, Trish would be like jamming to the music. She's just like, she's probably getting messages from spirit. So hang on. Hello, Cindy, and hello, Chris. Leslie, Mamala, how are you? Jean, how are you? Laura, good to see you, Laura. Sonia, hello, Sonia, welcome. It's one of your peeps, Sonia, I think.
Oh.
I'm not sure. Jamie, hi, Jamie. Jamie Sp. Hi, Jamie Sp. Good to see you, Jamie Sp. Chris, hello. Maria, good to see you. Misty, hello, Misty. Facebook user, hi. Hi. Delora, hello, hello. Beth, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Stephanie and Karen and Julie, it's you from Wisconsin. Hello, Julie. And there's Leslie again. And Facebook user, hey there. Patty, long time no see, Patty. Good to see you. Sarah, hello. And Laura says this evening has the greatest vibe to it. Laura, every evening has the greatest vibe. We bring in the vibe. This girl, wrong way. That girl brings in the vibe. Look, she's got a Friends t-shirt on. How could you go wrong with that? How can you go wrong? You can't. All right. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for being here. Jamie, good to see you. And let's do it again because that was fun. Jamie, good to see you. Pray that I didn't get schmutz on my screen. Sharon, good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Well, welcome. I have to tell you that ever since Trish was stalking, ever since Trish was watching me on TikTok, I just fell in love with her energy. I think you are an amazing individual, and you have, you're good friends with Sarah, and you, now you guys met through TikTok, right?
Yeah, 100% through TikTok.
That's so amazing how these friendships can manifest like this. And you were just so kind and so nice. And she's a TikTok wonder, guys. She does readings on TikTok. You've been doing readings for how long now?
Ooh, on TikTok, probably about 2 years-ish. Somewhere there. So it's been a while.
And off of TikTok, you've been doing readings for?
Not much longer, actually. Probably about 3 years. Yeah.
Really? And look at all the cards that you have behind you.
Many. Can y'all really?
Many cards. And I just think that you started with the cards. How did you get into mediumship?
That's actually a great question. I was one who felt like mediumship would never be an option for me. It wasn't until I really got deep into the psychic work and that type of journey when I realized that a lot of the feelings that I had growing up was more mediumistic-like.
Sure.
I didn't see full body apparitions, and of course, because of how Hollywood hypes everything up, you think that that's what it means to be a medium. Right. So yeah, I lost someone really important to me in my life, and that really is what kind of catapulted me in, wanting to learn more and wanting to just know that my person was okay. And yeah, one thing led to another. I just started taking some classes and here we are.
Do you feel that your loved one is up there guiding you?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I feel her with me. I feel like with every reading that I give to, I rely on her.
I love
So
that because that's
yeah,
why I always have my parents over my shoulder
yeah.
because I know they're watching over me and I know that they are guiding me all the time. And sometimes when I feel stuck, I'm like, okay, there you go. They're right over here. And I almost feel like they're saying something.
Yep.
So, you've been doing this work and you do it wholeheartedly. And I think it's remarkable. Tonight's talk, everybody, is about creating connections to our loved ones. Trish, myself, and Sarah were on TikTok talking a little bit about this, and I wanted to bring it on here because I know some of you are not on TikTok. And Trish invited Sarah and I for this wonderful talk. And I wanted to just say, that just gave me several ahas. I know you know this, but I have to ask this for people on here, and then we'll go to some of the comments. What do you think is the most important thing when someone says, I've lost my loved one, I feel lost, what do I do? What do I look for?
One of the biggest things that I always go to is just feeling. My first thing would be to, tell that person to do things that maybe remind them of their person, reminisce on memories. And spirit often communicates through feeling as well, just kind of as we're navigating through day to day life. Another thing, I know we talked about this a little on the TikTok live, but just kind of being aware of moments when you start thinking of your loved one and just kind of looking at what's happening around you, of what may be signs that would kind of be coming your way to be able to embrace that feeling. But yeah, I would say that that's probably the biggest thing, just relating to them and letting them know that feeling is everything with spirit, and being open to that, is everything.
And I think we block ourselves from that.
Hmm.
I really truly think that when people are like, oh, my mom's been gone for 5 years, or my grandmother never shows up for me. I think and I'm wondering to see what you feel. I think for me personally, when my mom didn't show up in my dreams and she promised she would, she said, I said, Mom, sometimes grandma comes in my dreams and she tells me stuff. And my mom was like, oh, really? And then old Greek tradition, guys, just to let you know that my mother was born here. She was born here. But some of the superstition comes and she's like, oh, did your grandmother ever cook any food for you? And in the dream, I said, yeah. She's like, don't ever take food from your grandmother. And I'm like, what? She goes, in the dream, don't take food for her. Because they say that if you take food, that means that you're going to join them in the afterworld. I'm like,
Wow.
really? I'm
Okay.
like, you're a smart woman. You went a little time to University of Chicago. And I'm like, really?
Right.
Really? Like, that's not how it works. But okay. All right. Um, so Angela's saying, hello, my love, and Oracle Trish. Hi, Donna and Misty, two beautiful ladies, Tristan and Sarah. Yes, they are. Hey, Joy. Kelly, I know it's crazy. It's crazy. Leslie says, best life coach. Elias, please email me when you can. I will. Shelly, hello. Love when I see signs. Me too. Me too. Leslie saying you're so calming. She
Oh,
is.
well,
She's
thank you.
very calming. I need to stay more present at times to notice the signs. Yes. Laura says, like every time I make a cup of tea, I feel my grandparents, since we always had tea at their house every time. Totally. I totally get that. Hi, Susan. Hello, Tina. And Dolores says, reading the Greek coffee grinds. Yes. People used to do that. Not my mom, but my great aunt did it. Nita says, just popping in before dinner. Hi, Nita. Thera, good to see you. Hello, hello, hello. Mary Jane says, Kalispera, which means good evening, like an early evening Greek thing. Ellen Jane, good to see you. Today's your birthday. I love
Oh,
a loved one sign. Amber, that's great. That's great. Happy birthday. We're not doing readings. We're not doing readings tonight. We're just teaching you guys how to look at connecting to your loved one. Okay. Hi, Lori. Good to see you. So, loved ones give signs in many ways. And I know we listed a whole bunch of them. What are your favorites that people should look for?
Yeah, so I feel like, again, just the first thing is when you randomly start thinking about your loved one throughout the day, just kind of paying attention to what's repetitive. You could maybe find something that's suited for you and your specific loved one. But yeah, I mean, signs come in all different ways, license plates, billboards. Let's say you see, I'm using a butterfly because a butterfly is significant to me. You randomly see one and then you start feeling your loved one around. They're just limitless in all forms of how they can come. Pictures, seeing people that look similar out and about when you're maybe shopping or just doing your thing. But yeah, I would say it's really kind of endless with signs and how they come in.
And guys, be open because what Trish is telling you is to be open. Don't set it, not that you can't tell your loved ones, hey, I want a sign that looks like this. Okay, great. But
Yeah.
if you're only putting yourself in that box and they're trying to say, oh, did you smell that perfume? And you're like, oh, that was interesting. And you just slough over it. There's a way that you can talk to them, but asking that connection be a little bit more clear,
Hmm.
be a little bit more um, unique to you if you wish. For example, I shared this story. um, I was in a John Holland class, and there were like 200 plus people in there. And I'm like, okay, John's going to pick me. I know he's going to pick me. Nope. Gonna pick me. Gonna pick me. Nope. Next time. Nope. I'm like, come on, it's my mom's birthday on the 14th. On the 15th is when my dad died. On the 17th was my mom's name's day. On the 20th, it's mine. It's my week. This is today is the 16th of July. I'm right in it. Come on, John. Big bucks, no whammies. Come on, go ahead. Nothing. And I'm like, well, crap. I can't believe it. So there we are on the big screen with everybody. And I look at the person next to me. She doesn't have a picture on, but her name is Marina. And I'm like, isn't that funny? Marina's right next to me. Marina, you guys, was my mom's first name. Out of 200 people, why would that show up like that? Why would Marina be right next to me? Literally, let me say it again, right next to me. So my mom is right next to me was the message. That was
Yeah.
the sign that she was trying to convey. Dolores says, hey, Kelly. Dolores says, my brother's favorite candy that we'd never share, Charleston Chew. I love it. My daughter left 2 years ago on January 27th. Next Saturday, I feel her around. Of course you do. Of course you do. I mean, it is really, they're with us, guys. I mean, like I tell everybody on TikTok, and I'm going to say it on Facebook, it's not like they're like, yeah, I got to go bingo at 5. They're always there with you. They're always there with you. Hey, Scott Jones, thanks for being here. Second time today. Pot smell, can't stand it. Best friend loved it. Okay, well, there you go. Hi, Lori Wagner. Have you ever had a sign that made you uncomfortable? My brother was an electrician. He flickered my lights a lot right after he passed. I got worried I had a problem. I asked him to change his sign. Now I'm not sure what it is.
Hmm.
How would you answer that?
Hmm. So I I would ask one, how often maybe that was happening. Because to me, I feel like when it truly is our loved ones with giving those signs, we're not going to necessarily be uncomfortable. Now, it might be a little jarring. I don't know, maybe if that's kind of what you meant there, Lori. But it's okay to kind of have that evolve. And I feel like being clear with setting the intention on what you want to receive as far as changing that sign really can kind of open the door to that. We talked about it a little already too, but the more open you are to receiving any and everything, a lot of times you'll start feeling it. They'll start coming in and you'll be like, wow, this happened and I felt and thought of my loved one. And then it changes the next time. This happened, this came up, and now I'm thinking and feeling my loved one. Um, that would be my best advice, is to try to be as open as you can and have a conversation, let them know what it is you'd like to see, and just kind of see how that implements, that those changes help if they do.
Yep, totally. Amber says she sees number 33. Yep, got it. Hey, Sheila. Oh, Sheila. Misty says, a gentleman that looks so similar to my brother keeps coming into the shop I work at. I think of him immediately and I smile and I feel like I'm getting a hug. Of course. I mean, it's really special. That's why, like, my mom's name, Marina, is not really a common name, and it's great. Now, I tell people, people have said, well, do I need to light a special candle? Do I need to do a prayer? Do I need to, like, no, that was fun though.
Right.
But you don't have to do that if your loved one was like humorous like that. Do it. I mean, if you just want to, for those people that come from a Christian background, if you do the sign of the cross and go, you say a prayer and that feels something for you, go for it. If it's lighting a candle, go for it. Even if it's, my mom loved Reese's peanut butter cups. Sometimes I'll just like crack it open like, Mom, I'm thinking of you, and then take a bite.
Yep.
Sometimes I think about her a lot and it's maybe 2 packages or maybe 3, because I've been thinking about her so often. Don't judge people. But it is, I haven't had them in a long time, but they're so gosh darn good. It is important to say to your loved ones, this is how I want to communicate. Show me how you want to communicate. But I want to tell everybody, you guys are in charge. You're in charge when you're talking to spirit. It's great. It's really a great thing to know that love is eternal. Love does not end. It doesn't end. Dora said, be right back. Pizza at the door. You're cute. Kelly says, I feel my mom so often in the car with me. She's so present. It feels like she's next to me. And she probably is, Kelly. She probably is. Jamie says, thank you for the reminder. You're welcome, Jamie. You're welcome, Jamie. I like it.
Another thing too that I think is just really important to kind of remind on this also, there's no wrong way, to go about however it is you honor your person, whether it's, in actions or things, or kind of like Elias was saying with the Reese's. I feel like a lot of times just through society of maybe those who haven't gone through a grief journey, there can be some judgment there, or making you feel like, either you're doing too much or that maybe what you're doing is wrong. I just want to emphasize that with the signs and feeling your loved ones and all of that, there's no wrong way. It's whatever feels good to you. And I would definitely encourage you to stick with that too.
Do you feel that people look at you differently now that they know what you're doing?
Oh, 100%. And it's so funny you bring this up, because I was actually just making a video before we got on here about this. Ultimately, it's not my responsibility to kind of prove or show the work that I do.
Yep.
Their responsibility to find out or create whatever type of relationship with spirit that they want to. I also look back on myself, a couple years ago, and maybe even before my loss, my thought process on all of this was a bit different. So I think holding space, holding space for others to have that different thought process is important. And ultimately, if they're going to kind of jump on the train and agree with us and see the light, or whatever it is you want to say, it'll happen.
Yeah.
Good question.
Thank you. I try. Let's see. Joy says sometimes reminders hurt the heart. This
Yes.
is true, Joy, and we all have a a journey, like Trish was saying, our grief journey. I know that I was stuck in a place for 10 years. For
Mm-hmm.
10 years I was stuck. Not that it doesn't hurt still, not that I don't think about them every day, but I know this is my journey. I know that my people want me to be happy. I know they want me to think about them. I know that they want me to do my best. And I do justice to them by
Mm-hmm.
doing so.
Yeah.
It's honoring their memory by doing action steps that I know that they would be proud of and
Mm-hmm.
that I'm proud of too. That's a key, wouldn't you think?
Oh, absolutely. It can be, especially when, grief journey is so fresh and you're kind of moving through the steps, it can be very hard to be bogged down by all of that. Um, even myself, the first 2 years, my loved one's been gone almost 3 years, or wow, no, almost 4 years. That's crazy. I can't believe how time has passed. But anyway, the first 2 years, that was me. I was very just shut down, didn't want to really live and enjoy my life anymore. Um, and just through like deepening the mediumship development and everything and opening my eyes to just everything that spirit is and can be really kind of made the difference. um, so I'm feeling called to say this to everyone that's watching. If you're somebody that maybe is struggling with feeling held back on that grief journey, not being able to be yourself, maybe look into some mediumship development classes. Not saying you have to necessarily go out and be a working medium, but through a lot of the exercises and things that you learn, it really can help you with your own grief too and kind of navigate through that. So,
And their grief circles. There
right.
is you have stuff, right, that you do with grief?
Not as much, but Sarah, she kind of does the more consistent thing with grief circles. So,
Sarah does, and guys, Sarah will be on our live next month, just so y'all know. And we have Margie J, who does stuff on TikTok. She has a group that meets every Tuesdays, I think. And Margie shares her story of her several losses that have been challenging for her. Um, I've been asking my dad for signs, but not seeing any, maybe just missing them. Yes, true, but I want to ask you, Kelly, any guilt around his passing, any anger around his passing, those two feelings cloud the vision. Cloud the vision. I asked my mom every day for a year to show up, and she didn't. And I thought she was mad at me, or this,
oh,
I mean, it's just always crazy. And I know the answer that she wasn't, but I always thought that she was disappointed, angry, all the negative feelings that I could. And that didn't allow in the love.
right.
Remember, it comes from love, everybody. Really does. Um, that's Kelly MM. Kelly K says, what do you think you can do if you've lost so many family members in a row? How do you stop worrying about who's next? Ooh,
Mm.
good question.
Yeah, that's a tough one, because I'm feeling called to say mind over matter. It's a lot easier said than done, when you're kind of moving through that worrying stage. Um, I'm not reading you, Kelly, but coming in as well, I feel the need to tell you to maybe kind of write it out, maybe even writing letters to your loved ones, just kind of getting out these concerns of how you feel that all of these losses have kind of made you, looking to who's next. Um, and just kind of taking time to sit in that energy. Again, it's a lot easier said than done, but holding space for you and reminding you that it unfortunately is part of the grief journey. You just got to give yourself time to kind of work through that and navigate through that.
I would agree. And here's another added piece to that, Kelly. When you are going through this journey and letting go of some of that ouch, if you can, how about being grateful How about flipping it and saying, I'm so grateful for the ones that are still with me. I'm grateful for this. So instead of putting out the worry, putting out the blessing.
Yes.
Let go of the worry and say a blessing for your loved ones. Really, really important. Angela says, before my brother passed away, he asked to be honored with our laughter. Hard, but we do it. I love that.
Beautiful.
I begin to think I'm doing, I begin to think I'm done grieving. And wham, there it is like yesterday. Because it's layers. It's layers. Wouldn't you agree,
Oh,
Trish?
absolutely. Before earlier today, before we even got on here at all, I just was thinking about the topic and it hit me. I was like, wow, my loved one really is gone. And the grief just kind of flooded in. And unfortunately, I saw a quote once that it's the cost or the price of, loving someone so deeply. And it's something that'll stick with you the rest of your life, but gets easier, but it comes in waves for sure. I feel you on. I think that was Joy. I feel you on that.
Yep, very true. Um, Tina says, my husband died 52 years ago. I still see signs frequently. Excellent. Misty says, I believe our loved ones know when we are ready to understand and feel their presence for sure.
Yep.
Totally. Totally. Excuse me 1 second. Cheers, everybody. Okay. Ooh, it's red lemonade. Woo. Um, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yes, thank you. Laura says, I don't think you're ever done with grief. It just changes. I would agree with you, Laura. I would totally agree with you. Um, Kelly says, okay, thank you. Kelly M says, 30 years since I lost my baby, and it's still so fresh some days. Agreed. Agreed. Um, Grief definitely not linear and multidimensional. Yeah, because think about it. We are unpeeling an onion constantly. That is what we are. We have so many layers. We have so
Yep.
many layers in our life. And it depends if we're, I don't think it matters our age. We can have many, many layers. Totally many layers. Thank you. Cheers to you too, Jamie. Cheers. Um, Now, I know you have something going on that people can find on Etsy. What is
Mm. Well, we have a digital affirmation journal. I'm really excited about it. It's been out for a bit now, but it's set on a yearly basis. So basically, you do one affirmation a week. But you can find it through my link in my bio on TikTok. My TikTok is the exact same name as here, Oracle Trish. But yeah, it's designed to really kind of make you reflect and maybe do a little bit of shadow work on whatever the affirmation is for that week. So if that is something that interests you, you can find it there. And yeah, I'm really excited to share that with you guys.
And thank you. I was reading this, and we really need to go over this for Maria. Maria says, my mother died 20 years ago this month. My brother guilt tripped me. Then 2 days after she does, I had a dream of her, and she was so angry with me. Can't get past it. So, Maria, I say this with love, not your mom.
Yeah.
When they cross over, they're only about love. That subconscious anger that you're feeling is not from her. That's from you. They, and we tell this, and Trish can talk about it too. We say this in mediumship that when you are getting a reading, a loved one's never going to be angry or disappointed. They want you to make the best choices, and they're coming from love. Do you want to talk about this for a moment?
Yeah, I would say, one of the biggest things that just evidentially with the readings that I've given, they'll come through with an awareness of maybe the things that have gone on or those feelings that you just kind of touched on. And maybe even bringing up moments of those dreams. But it's not for that. They don't hold on to emotions or physical ties the same ways that we do while we're here. And they often will bring this up in readings. So with having that rough time just within that dream, I would say maybe look within kind of that grief journey. I would say to you again with love, there's probably something that you are internalizing and holding on to just through that loss that maybe needs to be let go. Because yeah, again, our loved ones, once they depart, it's all magical, it's all light, it's happy over there. I've never seen evidence of the contrary. So
So true. Kelly says, greeting helped me open spiritually, so I'm grateful for that. You're welcome, Laura. Like an onion. That's true. Um, Missy says, nice. I've been so absent on TikTok. I'll need to go check it out. Please do. And Dolores put snipfeed.co/Oracle Trish. There it is. So good. She put it on twice. Braden, good to see you, my friend. How are you? How are things in the land down under? Hope you're doing well. Now, again, like I said, we're talking about these connections and how we truly connect. I would like to, we didn't talk about this, Trish, but I would like to ask people if you're comfortable to put your hand on the center of your chest. And I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to think of nothing right now, just absolutely nothing, just a white piece of paper if you can. And as you think of this white piece of paper, think of it being handed to you. And then you grab the piece of paper and you look up, and it's your loved one, whichever one comes to your mind. You might be shocked of who it may be.
right.
Just know in that moment, in that one brief moment, that loved one just gave you a message. Just in that brief moment, they just popped in to say hello. Now, I would think it would be my mom or my dad or maybe my grandmother, but it was my aunt, which I haven't thought about her in a while. So that was pretty cool. Just in that brief moment, a small, tiny moment. And I'm saying, guys, don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it. I want you to just go with the flow. Just whatever comes to you.
And
That's the important thing.
And through that little exercise too, that's a great segue to those that may be interested in guided meditations. There's lots of them out there that will kind of take you through just kind of meeting and being with your loved ones. And like Elias was saying, sometimes it'll surprise you who you start to feel into. So,
Well, speaking of psychic, Laura was going to ask the question that I just came up with. Is there a story behind, when you say Trish Rain Readings?
yeah. So, first of all, thank you, Elias and Delora, for asking that. I love getting that question. It really means a lot to me. But yeah, Rain Readings is actually all about my loved one who kind of pushed me down this whole path. So it has a double meaning. When so she was 17 when she passed away, very young. But when she was born, it was raining outside, and when she passed away, it was also raining outside, and her middle name was Rain. So
Mm.
I loved the symbolism behind, her entry into this world and even her departure on that. And yeah, that's why Rain Readings.
I like it. And it's so beautiful when it has that kind of a meaning for it. Or that meeting, that kind of it's funny. It's funny how we just gravitate to things
Yeah.
and we don't know why. And I really think whoever they is for all of you, they're pushing us towards it. Whether we realize or not, we're like, well, why the hell did I do that? Well, you did it because somebody upstairs is like, you know, kind of go ahead and do that. Do that. Something else, I know it's personal, guys. Sorry. Trish. But another cool thing that Trish and I have in common, besides the whole psychic medium thing, is our wedding date is like a week apart.
Yep.
Whoop, whoop.
Oh,
Look
twins.
at that bling, girl. Bling, bling, bling. So it's been a year for both of us.
Yeah.
And just asking, just curious, because John doesn't really care. John's like, you do your thing,
Yeah.
How does your husband feel about all this?
I'll kind of quote him on this. He'll say, if you believe, I believe. he's open-minded, when I don't share a lot of things. Some things I keep private just with clients and readings, but
Right.
when something really cool happens with development, I'll tell him about it and he'll get as excited as he can.
Yeah.
But he's like, that's your thing. He's happy and just kind of holds space for it.
I think it's funny that, people are just like, what do you think? Well, I don't know. I don't know. Okay.
Right.
Um, and it's wonderful that we have our people are just really supportive of it, you
Mhm.
know. And I always said, I don't care if someone wants to disagree with me as long as they respect our differences. And that's it. Jamie says, I must frustrate the heck out of my guides. Well, how about this? Who's frustrated? Your guides or you?
Ooh, that's spicy.
Let me give you
The
great
great.
eyebrow. Who's frustrated? Because they're all about support, girl. They're all about support. All about support. Have you ever had like, and I know that if my friend Robin was on here, she'd love for you to answer this question. Um, what is one of the best like aha moments that you've had in a reading where you're like, wow, like you're really taken back?
Ooh, okay. I gotta think about that one for a second.
Okay.
Do you have one you can share in the meantime?
Um, I do because
Oh,
go ahead. No, go
sorry,
ahead.
sorry, it
You got
popped
it?
in.
Go for it. Go
Yeah.
for it.
Okay, so one of the coolest things, and it seems so small, but there was several pieces of evidence that were coming through, and all of a sudden I started seeing basically like a package, like Amazon delivery to the door, and I had just given the message of whatever it was that the loved one was portraying, and I leaned into the package thing and I'm like, hey, there's something about a package that's arriving. I feel like this is, something that actually already came, and gave the date and the time. The time was correct within 3 minutes. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. And the time that I gave, it was like a very odd number. It was like whatever hour and 37 minutes. So it was just very cool. It was like, wow, like thanks for validating whatever that message was. And they were kind of like, oh, that's a little creepy. I'm like, well, sorry.
Welcome to our world, right?
Right,
And guys, here's the thing. Do you notice that Trish didn't say I was right? Because it's
right.
not about that. It's like, wow, we are looking at how cool is that
Hmm.
that we can receive this type of message from people's loved ones, the people in spirit, and going, wow, this is what they're saying, that this is really specific, so we know that person knows that it is true. Now I remember, this is before I did any training with anyone.
Hmm.
Some people know this, some people don't. You have a budding medium working at a cremation society.
Oh, okay.
That was fun. And massage was slow. Um, and I needed a part-time job. And then I needed a full-time job. I'm like, well, I could do part-time massage work and then I could work this full-time. So I worked at the Illinois Cremation Society. And a client came in and I said, I'm so sorry for your loss. How can we help you? Blah, blah. And she's talking to me, so nice, such a nice lady. And I said, I really shouldn't tell you this. And I was trying to whisper. I was like, I I do psychic work. And I said, I I'm starting to tap more into the mediumship piece. And I just feel like the letter T is coming in. Does that mean anything for you? She's like, T, no, no. And I said, yeah, I know it's not your mom's name. And I said, all right, give me a moment. Does tea, like, was she a tea drinker? No, not a tea drinker. I'm like, she keeps on showing me tea, and I'm hearing tea, and I'm seeing the letter T. And oh, like a tin, maybe that's it, tin canister or something. She said, "Oh, we have an old tea tin that
Oh,
my mom used to put stuff in because she's like, can't spend a lot of money, you know. My mom wasn't didn't leave much behind." And I said, I don't know. She keeps on showing me this tin thing. She goes, I think I put it in the box to like, you know, throw it out. And I said,
mm,
well, can you go look at it and just before you toss it out and let me know because I'm curious to know. She calls me up. Like she went home that day and called me up. She's like, Elias, I said, what? She said there was $2,000 worth of cash in that tea tin.
right. Okay.
And I was like, really? And she's like, yes. And she goes, and I know exactly what my mom would want us to do. And I was like, that's awesome. How awesome. So
Yep.
we're we're still friends from that time, and just she's been on some of my retreats back in the day when I first started. So it's just fascinating to see how, you know, I think what people need to know, the difference, like John Holland says, the difference between a psychic and a medium is a psychic perceives and a medium receives.
Yeah.
And I would say that many of you that are empaths are probably receiving a lot, and mediumship can be trained, but you have to get the proper training. It is so important to do this work ethically, to do it with integrity, and to really know how to talk to somebody. Um, I have been with people that are very crass when they
Mm,
talk, and they'll say, "Oh my God, there was this happened and this happened," and oh my God, some lady actually, I heard her say, "Yeah," and I'm like, I can't believe like you found all her larger intestines hanging outside of her. I'm like, why would you even say something like that?
yeah.
Just crazy, 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 crazy. So ethics, really, really important. Couple comments, but I wanna mention something too in a second. Danielle says, two of my favorite
Oh,
people. Good
thank
to
you.
see you, my friend. She says
It's
hello
you.
to everybody. Laura says, can mediums know that another person around you is a medium? Do you guys connect that way? Okay, I'll let you answer this, and I have an answer.
So let's put it this way. I've never necessarily received information on, oh, hey, you need to go talk to this person because they're a medium too. But I feel like if someone came to me and was maybe asking about how to deepen their abilities, I think there would be an awareness there of kind of helping guide them and feeling where they're at on their mediumship journey, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I would agree with your latter parts. The first part I would agree with too, and I would say, yeah, it's not like, "Woo, you're a medium." Now they're like, "No, I'm actually a large trying to get back to the medium, but thanks." I will tell you this, Laura, that what mediums can do if we were in a room and there was a group of people and Trish was reading the group
Yeah.
and she asked me to link up with her, then I would link wrong way. I would link with Trish and I would receive information on her wavelength and say, well, I'm also getting this. Does this make sense to you? And that is something that is super cool. We did that with John Holland and Janet No Havoc, the late Janet No Havoc. I've done that with Tony Stockwell's classes that I've
Mm,
taken. It's a very interesting thing to link up um, in that way. Super cool. Super,
yeah.
super cool. So thanks for that question. Now, something that Trish is doing that she doesn't really talk about that much. I asked for permission beforehand. You are doing something really cool with doing psychic mediumship that's detective work.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Do you want to tell people a little bit?
Yeah, so probably 6 months ish ago, I just kind of got this overwhelming feeling that maybe that's kind of something I needed to start developing. And from that point, I have a couple of books up there actually on the topic and everything. And divine timing, I would say, I actually got presented an opportunity through somebody that I mutually know, that they had a situation regarding their loved one that there's a lot of questions on and still things that need to be found out, just through the passing and all of that. And they were open to me trying to, get information, and I've had a couple of sessions with them, and I don't really want to say too much just because that's their, private info and
Right.
everything. But yeah, there's a couple of things that have come through on those sessions that have actually been validatable pieces of information that was able to go to the police, and there's now new leads into situations pertaining to that. So, anyway, I'm just really excited about that. We're kind of really at the beginning stages of development with that, but I think that that could be a fun route to go to really be able to help people. And I'm excited about it.
So here's my question for you, because this is about, I don't know, I want to say I was still married to my first the first ex, and it had to be at least five years ago, 5 years ago. And I had a client, and she's totally fine with me sharing. I had a
Mhm.
client call up, and she's like, "Hey, do you find missing people?" I'm like, "It's not my really, it's not my
Right.
thing." And then it happened. Like, everything went blank. Like, I'm staring at the wall, and everything, it's like somebody did this for a moment. Like, I'm like, "Did I lose my vision?" I'm like, "What happened?" And everything went blank and dark. Like, and I said, "Well," I said, "I can try." And I said, "Let's, try." And I mentioned a bunch of information. She said, "Yes, we've been to 9 psychics,
Mhm.
and they're all telling us the same thing that you said." And she said, "Would it help if you talk to my husband? This is his brother."
Right.
Okay. I'm like, "All right, here we go." And then the next day, the husband calls, and I'm like, and I gave more information. I'm like, "I keep on seeing red clay soil. I don't know why. Like, my hands are dirty." I felt, you guys, like, what's her name? Uh, from the show Medium,
Oh,
Alison Dubois.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like her. Like, it's a
Hmm.
real character, but it's a real person, Alison Dubois. And it's like I was looking through their eyes,
Hmm.
watching. It was really weird. So then he's like, "Well, that's interesting. Like, only a couple psychics have told me what you said, and it
Yeah.
was true." And he's like, "Would you like to talk to his girlfriend?" I'm like, "Oh my God." So 2 days later, we're talking to the girlfriend, and I said, "I keep on seeing this long bar, and when I go outside, I'm on this um, brick street." And she's like, "Yeah, he used to go there a lot." And then I said, "Okay, now he's showing me, or I guess I'm seeing, um, I'm in a car, and I feel
Hmm.
like I'm in the back seat, and we're going up to 2 stop signs." And then she goes, "We don't have blocks here." I'm like, "Okay, well then I said 2 blocks." And I said, "Well, there are 2 stop signs, and you're making a right. And as soon as you make a right, I'm looking at the odometer, and it keeps on showing 7, just the number 7. And we're getting onto the highway now." She said, "It's 7 miles to the highway."
Ooh, okay.
And I was like, "All right." And then I said some more information, and I said, "And I keep on seeing this clay soil, but I feel like he went off the highway and is in like this park of
Hmm.
something." And the woman that originally called me, she said, "Elias," she said, "we found him. He's no longer with us. He was found on a park bench in a secluded area, and it's in Alabama where there is red clay soil."
Right.
And I said, "That's so weird." It was really weird. So I didn't, I, it was my one thing that I did with that. And then I took Tony Stockwell's class, and there was a famous lady, this story quite recently.
Hmm.
Um, she drowned. Well, they didn't know she drowned, but she was missing, and they didn't know if there was foul play. They didn't know. So he asked us as a class, "What do we all see?"
Right.
And I was like, I just kept like, again, this dark vision. And now I know when I get dark, they're either lost or no longer with us.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I didn't put two and two together. And I felt all tangled up. Well, they found her. They like searched the whole river. She was in the river to
Mhm.
the side bend, like kind of, she must have fallen over and was trapped in the roots of the trees. It was just really, really odd. And yes, Jamie, it's like a whole new language. So
Mhm.
if you want to do the psychic medium stuff of detective work, it's really like there's a lot of specifics here, and it's a lot of understanding what these messages are and to decipher them. So I really applaud you for doing it. I don't think it's rare that it, like I said these two times, but
Yeah.
um, I never, I don't think, I'm not going to say never, but I don't think that this is my avenue to go down to. Um, and I'd love to hear how you get along with it and keep on developing it. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited for it, especially just with like seeing what has happened so far. I'm still working with that family. There's more that we kind of meet semi often to see what kind of comes up. But it can be scary too though, because a lot of times when you dive down this avenue, especially when it's something maybe that there's still an open case on, that the family like this is going to the police and saying, "Hey, here's this information." Then you have the police maybe looking like, well, where did you get that? There's a
Right.
little factor there, but of course, ways to go through that officially maybe and work with police. But yeah, it's interesting. It's a whole different ball game, I would say. From
It's true. It's
Yep.
true. Pardon me. I want to tell everybody that we're going to do one of these days. I don't know when, probably in the spring sometime. We're going to have a bunch of us on doing card reading. So I would love to have you come back.
Yeah.
Really asked a question: what's a good first step to take in development mediumship abilities?
Hmm.
There's lots of things. Trish, you want to go? Hang on. Someone's, I think, I think she wants to go out. So you want to take this question? I'll be right back.
Yeah, no, you're good. So I would say a really huge thing with mediumship development is actually personal development. There's something that you'll kind of hear people refer to as far as like shadow work. There's journals with those types of things that you can kind of dive into and just kind of work on completing. But I would also say just, really by watching readings. TikTok can actually be a really great place for that as long as you're kind of on the ethical side. There are some that, maybe aren't as ethical that I would say to maybe stay away from. But absorbing as much information that way as you can. There's lots of great information on like YouTube. And also, I'm going to shout out, I don't know how to really link them here, but there's a great podcast, I'm a Medium, Ask Me How. And the two, hosts of that, Matt and Dana, are really great educators as well. Um, yeah, I would just say kind of absorb everything that you can, and just be open. Let me see, guys, if I can pull up comments and maybe we'll run through some here while we're waiting for it to come back. Let's see. And welcome in, everybody. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate you. Yes, thank you, Dora. Yep, podcast is I'm a Medium, Ask Me How. I would say that's a good thing for beginners. Um, Sorry guys, I just got to the comment section, so I'm just kind of going through these while we wait for Mr. Elias. Mm. Does anyone have any fun weekend plans? Maybe we'll kind of shift it a little, or questions. Any
There was
questions?
there was a cat outside, so
Oh,
she's going a little bit crazy, and I'm like, what does she, when she whimpers? I'm like, does she have to?
oh,
Yeah. And I heard what she said. Here's the thing, too, guys, that I can't I can't tell you enough, emphasize enough that practice meditation.
Yeah.
Really talk about, John Holland talks about it, Tony talks about it, Lisa talks about it, Lisa Williams talks about it. It's all about sitting in the power. And that doesn't mean ego power. It means sitting in the source. So I know that Sarah's going to be doing some classes in mediumship. I have a class and Sarah's going to come on with me. I have a 1-year program about psychic development, mediumship development, and personal development. If you go to eliaspatras.com events, it's right there. Look for the Intuitive Circle group. And that's going to show you some ways each month we're going to talk about stuff. But thanks, Delora. And it is really, really important to get the training, whether it's with Sarah, with me, with somebody that you trust. Even go to one of the big wigs. They sometimes do a intro class. I mean, John Holland has a lot of stuff. I'm going to tell you also Laura Wooster, or let me say her name properly instead of my Midwest accent. Laura Wooster. Laura Wooster has she has some great classes. Now, some of them are done in person in where she lives in near Boston, but Boston, sorry, I have to say it right. But I would say, she does have some classes online. Just take some classes, get some of those books. You were saying some books. John Holland says Born Knowing. There's one there. Even some of the Sylvia Browne books, they're fascinating. Some of them are really, yes, in Methuen, you have to say like this, like you're from Spain. Methuen, Massachusetts, in Methuen. So it's never a boring moment, Trish. Never a boring moment. But I would say to get some classes done. I think that's really important. And honestly, guys, if you're interested in introduction to mediumship, come join me. Come join me. It starts at the end of February. I can't believe we've been talking for an hour.
I know. Time flies when you're having the best time of your life.
It does. And you are welcome anytime, girl. Anytime to come back. So thank you. So on the TikTok, they can find you as Trish Rain Readings or Oracle Trish, whatever you want to do. And your Etsy again is?
It's just Oracle Trish. So.
Okay. Oracle Trish for your day journal.
Yep.
Affirmations. Well, I thank everybody for being here. Thanks, guys, for hanging around. Remember, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say thanks for having me, too. It was a lot of fun.
But just hold the phone for a second after we're done. And guys, remember, truly, your loved ones are always with you. It's not like, they're busy, and they're always come from love. They always come from love. All right. As always, we are here to connect. And when we connect, we educate. And when we educate, we grow. There is unity in community. From our hearts to yours. Thanks, everybody. Next week, it's me. It's just me. Look, you did that.
I know. That's very cool.
That's super cool. Why doesn't mine do that?
I don't know. I guess
love is in the air. Are you? I don't know. Okay.
I don't know.
Let me just do this for Delora. Air clip. But it'll be me next week. And go to eliaspatras.com, look up the events. And guys, we have the special April retreat in Skamania. Go look. It's on sale. Go look at everything on the events page. Okay. All right. And there's also, if you tell people about Facebook, if you tell people about your Facebook friends, yes, thank you, Delora. Share the love and build community. So this is really fun. If you tell people to follow me on Facebook and they're like, yeah, I'm following. then you send a list to admin@eliaspatras.com. The person with the most followers will win a custom made, everybody. Not like just like, oh, I'm making this, here we go, there's a recipe. Custom made bath salt with a little scoopy thing. It's very cute. And a custom spray, not this one, the smudge it spray, but a custom spray. I'm going to get your birth date, I'm going to get your favorite color, and I'm going to get a word from you, and I'm going to create something special for you. So share the love, everybody. I'm going to announce the winner on February 13th. And thank you very much. There's the Balance and Act, De-Stress and Discover Your Life in Harmony. It's going to sell out fast, guys. So, and there's a sale on it right now. So go take a look. Again, thanks, everybody. And we'll talk soon. From our hearts to yours. Mwah. Oh, yes. Thank you, Delora. Mondays. There's so much going on. Mondays is Mystical Monday Musings with Laura Wusta and I, and we're going to be on YouTube on Mondays. We do 20-minute card pulls. Okay. It's fun. It's fun. All right, guys. Have a good one, and we'll talk soon. Take care, everybody. Be well.